Hello everybody, welcome back to another Python coding tutorial. In this Python coding practice, we're going to practice using nested for loops to calculate the average rainfall over a period of years. I have the instructions for this program typed out over here at the top of the page, so I'm going to go ahead and read those so that we know what we need to do for this program. Okay, so those say to create a program that uses nested loops to collect data and calculate the average rainfall over a period of years. The program should first ask the user for the number of years. The outer loop will iterate over this number of years. The inner loop will iterate 12 times, once for each month of that year. Each iteration of the inner loop will ask the user to input the number of inches of rainfall for that month/year. After all iterations, the program should output three values: the total number of months, the total amount of rainfall for all months, and the average amount of rainfall per month. Okay, now that we've read the instructions, we can begin writing our program. So as always, the first thing that I like to do is to start off with a print statement telling the user what the program is going to be doing. So I want to say print, this program will calculate the average rainfall over a period of years. Then with that, I also like to tell them what information it is that they're going to need to enter into the program. So I want to say print, you will need to enter the total number of years. Okay? So again, the reason that we want to do that is because we want to give them a little introduction to the program, since they won't be able to see our comments up here at the top of the page. So now that we've done that, we can start asking them for some input. We don't really want to ask them for input before we give them information about the program. So now I'm going to create the variable years, and I'm going to say int input, please enter the total number of years. Okay, and then after that, I want to create the variable total rainfall. And right now I just want to set that equal to 0, since at this point in the program there's no total rainfall yet. Okay, now we can begin making our for loops. So I want to say for years in range years. And then this is going to iterate the number of times here, the years that they entered here, because that's going to be our variable in here. Okay, and then I want to create another loop inside of that. So I'm going to say 4 months in range 12, because there's 12 months in a year. And it's set up here in the instructions that the inner loop will iterate 12 times, once for each month of the year. Okay, and then in here we want to create the variable rain. So I want to say rain equals float input, then f, please enter the total rainfall in inches for month. And we're going to do months plus 1. And we want this to be months plus 1 here, because this range is going to start at this 0 and it's going to end at 11. So we want to make sure it goes from 1 to 12. So now we want to calculate the total rainfall at this point. So I'm going to say total rain plus equals rain. So that's going to, or total rainfall plus equals rain. So that's going to take this total up here, and it's going to add the rain that was entered into it up here to that total. Okay, and then after that, we want to make sure that the months within this inner loop increment by 1. So months plus equals 1. Okay, and that's it for this inner loop, but now we want to go back to the outer loop and make sure that the years increment by 1 as well. And that'll make sure that both of our loops go from 0 to the ending range and increment by 1 each time. Okay, now that we've done that, all that's left for our program is to do some print statements outputting the final values that we have here. So I want to say print f, the total number of months were, then I want to do the years times 12, because whatever number of years they entered in up here, then times 12 is the total number of months. Then I want to print F, the total amount of rainfall for all months was total rainfall, and then we want that to display to one decimal point, so 0.1 F. Oops, and then I also want to add inches up here. Inches. Then I want to print F, the total amount of rainfall per month was. Then in here we want to do some calculations, so I'm going to say total rainfall. And then we want that divided by the months times the years. So that'll give us the total amount of months that there were. And then we want that displayed to one decimal place as well. Then I'm going to put inch and then in parentheses ES because we don't know if it'll be 1 inch per month or more. And then end that F string. Okay, so that's really it for this program. I'm going to go ahead and run it so that we can make sure that everything runs the way that we want it to run. So let's see how that looks when we run it. Okay, so far everything looks good. It says the nice little introduction here, and then asks us for the number of years. So I'm going to go with just 1 year, because that's going to ask us for 12 inputs per year, so we don't want to do too many. Okay, and then I'm just going to go through here and enter some input. Okay, the total number of months were 12, we know that. The total amount of rainfall for all months was 48 inches. The total amount of rainfall per month was 4.0 inches. Perfect. So all of our output looks good in the way that we want it to look. We did everything that the instructions wanted us to do for this program. So that's really it for this program, and that's going to be it for this video then. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and stay tuned. I'll have more Python coding practices and tutorials coming out soon. So if you enjoyed this one, be sure to stay tuned for those. Thank you for watching.